Hey guys, this is Coach Phil Houston, the 4 Pillar Fitness Podcast and Videocast. I'm coming to you live on video today and in our podcast to talk to you about an article that I wrote the other day that really seems to be resonating with a lot of parents and a lot of coaches. It's entitled 7 Reasons Why Your Preteen Should Train. And we're going to get to that in just a second. But first, hey, if you're listening to the podcast and you're on iTunes, do me a favor, drop us a 5-star rating. It'll really be helpful. Let other people know there's some value to be had here. If you find value here, obviously. We'd greatly appreciate that. If you see me on YouTube, I'm not the prettiest trainer in the world, but I do my best. If you get some value from this, would you give us a thumbs up and maybe leave a comment in the comment section, let us know that you enjoyed it, okay? Let's dive right in here, right? So 7 reasons why your preteen should train. So your 6 to 12-year-old really is what we're talking about, right? Can I be honest here? I mean, this is something that makes me a little bit crazy. I think if one more parent says, you know, my doctor tells me my kid shouldn't lift weights, until he or she is 14, I think I'm just going to be violently sick. I really am. I mean, for one thing, have you ever seen these kids lift their book bags? Their book bags weigh a ton, and they grab them, they do a deadlift, and they flip them right over their shoulder. It's a clean, basically. So they're already lifting weights. They're carrying stuff around. They're lifting weights. They're doing things, and they're being very physical. They're doing varieties of resistance training in their everyday life that we don't even think of, okay? So to be fair, your doctor's wrong. I think your doctor's well-intentioned, but wrong. The good doctor is expressing a thought that, you know, once upon a time made a lot of sense. When the primary option for parents for strength training for their kids was exercise machines at the local Globo gym, yeah, for sure, it might have made sense. But anymore, you know, we live in the 21st century, and the truth, even in the 18th, 19th century, strength training still would have been good for kids. Not only okay for them, but really, really good for them, okay? In my personal practice, I've been using strength training with kids as young as 6, really successfully, and they've enjoyed it. Athletes or not, kids actually like to work out and they like to be strong. So let's look at some real science evidence-based reasons why your 6 to 13-year-olds really should be strength training. First of all, and this is a really simple one, it's going to help them maintain a healthy weight, okay? And I just realized these are backwards. I hope you can see them the way I see them. So you're going to have to read them backwards. That's all there is to it, okay? It's going to help them maintain a healthy weight. The reality of it is this really isn't about hitting an appropriate weight on some arbitrary medical chart. It's about looking and being leaner and healthier. I've seen kids who were above the target weight for their age and height by 10% or more, but were in great physical condition. The truth is that if they're feeling stronger and having better physical literacy, which means they understand that moving is better and better movement is even better than that, they're far more likely to be physical and enjoy it. And that means enjoying the habits that support a healthy lifestyle. One recent meta-analysis, a really big study that reviewed a bunch of other studies, strongly indicated that resistance training in youth would help them maintain a healthy weight and make weight reduction easier where it was needed, and also help eliminate the potential for diabetes. So it's really important as well. So the takeaway here is that stronger, more capable kids feel better about themselves, are more interested in physical activity, and as a result are more likely to engage in activities that keep them stronger, healthier, and happier. Number 2, they'll play better. Turn it over now. Play better. That's the reality, right? This should be a no-brainer. Every sport imaginable, from football to figure skating, is improved by better strength levels. Lots of parents bring their children to me asking to help them get faster or improve their first step quickness. But the bottom line is that all the fancy speed and agility drills in the world are useless if your child is weak, right? Here's an analogy I love to use. Imagine you buy a car, right? It's one of those little hybrids, you know, it's this little gas-efficient engine that gets help from electric, yada, yada, yada. Is it fast? No, it's not fast. In fact, usually they're pretty slow. Let's put the steering and handling system in from a Ferrari. All right, let's plug it into that little Prius or whatever your little hybrid is. Is it fast now? No, still not fast. You know why? Because it's still a freaking hybrid, okay? It still has the anemic, slow hybrid engine in it. Speed requires horsepower. Horsepower requires a bigger, stronger engine. It's really very simple. Cool speed drills and techniques are not going to make you faster the way having a bigger engine will. I've seen kids with terrible running form. I mean, they look like they're, you know, running away from a fire, right? They're faster than their peers simply because they had a Ferrari engine, so to speak. Agility, coordination, quickness all improve with better strength levels too. These are all essential components of athletic ability. So if you want to be more athletic, you need to be stronger. If you want to be faster, you need to be stronger. The takeaway, stronger athletes play better. They get noticed and have the opportunities to play more as well. And I think that's really, really important for them. They think it's important too. All right, number 3, it's going to help them prevent injury. And I apologize if you're seeing these backwards. It's going to help them prevent injury. Stronger athletes get hurt with less frequency. The improvements in strength and the joint stabilizing muscles help prevent injury to athletes. And those ankles, ankles, knees, hips, back, shoulders, all stay healthier longer and the kids can play better. It's important to understand that injuries aren't an inevitable part of the game. They can largely be prevented with the right kind of physical and athletic development. What that means is a focus on long-term athletic development, or what we call LTAD, not quick hits, 6 or 8 week preseason programs or throwaway conditioning that sport coaches do. When you look up the cool stuff on Google and then they throw it into their practices for just some ridiculous reason, right? And they inflict them on your kids. Now we do run preseason programming in my practice in our facility, but we do it really as a way to introduce people to us, not so much as a way to have them ready for the season. We'll help them, but it's short term. It's not going to stick. LTAD is exactly what the name says, long term. It should begin with an emphasis on a broad variety of movement and context-specific skills, and progress slowly toward individual sport-specific movement skills. In fact, the emphasis on broad-based movement skills should dominate the LTAD programming, well into a child's teen years. Very important. For your preteen, learning to squat, lunge, push, pull, hinge, climb, crawl, run, and get on and off the ground quickly and efficiently should really be the focus. And when you think about it, if they learn to do those things well, being faster, being more athletic becomes kind of secondary to that. It just becomes an outcropping of all those things. I think strength training is an integral part of all this. It's really important part of developing this really incredible lifelong skill set. Focusing on these skills early, well, and over time will go a long way to making your child injury resistant. My athletes of all ages engage in strength training, and they're among some of the strongest kids I see on the field, on the court, on the ice, wherever. I've had coaches tell me my athletes are bulletproof. That's kind of funny. I kind of cringe a little bit at that. While I wouldn't go that far, I've seen some of my athletes walk away really unscathed from what should have been a catastrophic injury-inducing hit or situation. So yeah, strength matters in injury prevention at all ages, and that's the takeaway here. Number 4, and again, this is also important. It'll teach them how to do it right. Okay, learn to do it right early. This is kind of a strike while the iron is hot kind of situation. Later in life, your child's going to be in situations where knowing how to perform a proper squat or deadlift may really come in handy. Many high school weight rooms are understaffed, and that's a shame, and poorly coached. In a lot of cases, they can barely get anybody to be there just to open up the weight room, period. This can be a real problem for a kid who doesn't know how to properly perform lifts like the squat, the deadlift, the bench press, the clean, or even the overhead press. In many cases, younger athletes are being coached by older athletes who learn the same way, okay? Remember the game telephone when you were a kid? So you started with a phrase, and I would whisper it to you, and then we would go around the room, and you would whisper it to everybody else in the room, and then the last person that heard it would say it again out loud to me, and I would say what the original phrase was, and we would compare the differences, and usually they were just ridiculous. It ended up being nothing like it started, okay? So the difference was usually hilariously huge, really funny. Now imagine that game being played by a group of drunk fraternity brothers. That's akin to the way a lot of high school kids get taught how to lift in their weight rooms. Kids who were taught to lift really badly will be teaching your kids how to lift. Yeah, it can be that bad, absolutely. Of course, there's always your local McFitness gym, if you're worried about your high school weight room, where your kids will have the chance to learn to lift from people who graduated their high school weight room and moved on to scrolling social media for 20 minutes between sets. That's really cool. We want those guys teaching our kids stuff too. These are funny realities, but they're scary too. Okay, the important thing for your kids is to learn good technique and how quality strength training can improve their performance in lives early on. So the takeaway is, once a child learns to lift and work out effectively and properly, they then own a skill that will serve them well in sports and in life. All right, moving on. So number 5, self-confidence and self-esteem. These are important, right? Physical strength boosts mental strength and improves self-esteem. This we know. There are studies proving exactly this. There are numerous studies on both kids and adults detailing the connection between improved cognitive function and exercise, in particular strength training. There is an unspoken truth about bullying as well, and I think this is important for us to talk about. And I certainly am not saying that strength training will solve bullying, but strong, capable kids get picked on less. Bullies don't want an ass whip. They really don't. They're far less likely to pick on the kid who feels more confident because she's strong and physically capable. Additionally, stronger, more capable children are willing to try more things. They have less fear of being physically unable to accomplish something because they're willing to try it again. So more and different experiences seem to be within their reach, and that's a really important thing. If you want your kids to be willing to try new things and take on new challenges, they should get them stronger. It really helps. My personal observation has been that stronger kids also tend to be more supportive of their peers and younger kids. I've seen it time and time again in our training facility where an older, more experienced kid will welcome or cheer on a newer, younger athlete. And this, my friends, as Martha Stewart used to say, is a very good thing. And last, because strength training sometimes involves failure, like missing a lift or not being able to complete something on time, kids become more resilient, okay? And resilience is really important in the modern day, and they're willing to try again. And they become a little less prone to stress, I think, as well. This desire to keep after will serve them well in life. So the takeaway here is strength training can teach them to really stay after something until they master it. Number 6, it'll improve all the good stuff: bone strength, blood pressure, cholesterol, general health, all that kind of stuff. Fitness is always a good thing, and strength training is recognized as an essential part of a well-balanced fitness program and lifestyle. As adults, we tend to look at fitness as, we want to do cardio or whatever we think is the shortest path to getting there. Kids, once they adopt strength training as part of what they do, they start to really recognize that it makes them feel better and they want to do it more frequently. So it becomes part of their lifestyle, voluntary part, not an involuntary part. Keeping their bones strong, managing their blood pressure, and taking care of their cardiovascular system are 3 big things that strength training can help with. They are also things that your kids can enjoy for their whole lives. So the takeaway here is strength training will help them stay healthier in a lot of the ways your doctor will measure throughout their lives. So last but not least, and this I think is a big thing, it's really important, fun. Let them have some fun. Many adults don't always find strength training fun. Kids almost always do. Done well, youth strength training programs can be unique, memorable, and fun, and they should be. They can incorporate competition, cooperation, and gameplay while reinforcing high-quality functional movement patterns, improving strength, power, and speed, and improving your kids' physical and health futures. So you may not love strength training, but I bet your kids will. I think that's really what we've seen here in our facility and in my practice over the years. Kids really do love it. So there are 7 solid reasons for your preteen to participate in strength training. I'm aware that this only really addresses part of the issue, so I'm going to be speaking and writing again pretty soon on how to get your preteen started with strength training. For now, here's my suggestion. Seek professional help. There are plenty of youth fitness professionals with the kind of experience needed to get your kids off on the right foot with strength training. So this has been Phil Houston on the 4-Pillar Fitness podcast and videocast. Keep the faith and keep after it. And if you have any questions, please contact me through the podcast site, 4-Pillar Fitness, or through my website, coachphilhouston.com. And follow me on Instagram at coachphilhouston and on Twitter at philhouston. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.